Laws versus Ethics. The story of Mr. Remarry and Ms. Connolly. Mr. Remarry and Ms. Connolly were both divorced and in their 40s when they met. Mr. Remarry had 4 children from his previous marriage while Ms. Connolly was childless. She wanted a family, and as she was in her 40s, she had a limited amount of years left to have children. Mr. Remarry told her not to worry, that a fortune teller had told him he'd have 2 more children. The relationship progressed for more than 7 months before he told her he had lied. That he was no longer able to have children. Ms. Connolly ended the relationship and sued, claiming Remary's deceit had led to emotional distress and depression. She claimed his actions had perhaps cost her the only chance she had to have the family she desired. She said he lied in order to fraudulently continue the relationship with her. In the Massachusetts case of Connolly versus Remarry, the court found that while Remarry had behaved unethically, it was not the court's place to punish him for his actions. Mr. Remarry had certainly behaved in an ethical manner. However, under Massachusetts law, what actions Mr. Remarry had engaged in were not illegal. Conversely, had Mr. Remarry told her a series of lies to gain access to her finances, he would have been charged with fraud and arrested. Why the difference? Gaining access to Ms. Connolly's funds would be stealing, while just misleading her in the manner Mr. Remarry employed was only dishonest. One is legally wrong, the other ethically. Ethics are basic behavioral standards that guide our actions in various situations. These standards are unique to the individual, based on personal experiences and beliefs. Ethics are not the same as religion, law, emotions, or cultural norms, although they often include similar ideologies. Culture and emotions usually play a part in the development of a person's ethics, as do family and environment. Many principles found in both laws and religions have their basis in ethical ideals. All work together in one form or another to govern the way human beings behave. Ethical decision-making. Ethical decision-making forms the foundation of law in all societies. When laws are formed, groups of people must decide what is right and what is wrong. To do this, they often rely on several ethical decision-making models. Ethics are not static. They do change as a person ages and can vary from situation to situation. Some ethical decisions are larger than others. Individuals must weigh the situation and decide what action is best for them in that moment. These are ethical dilemmas. People face varying ethical dilemmas every day, from telling the truth to cheating during a game. Ethics are in play at all times. But how do we determine what action is right or ethical? In any situation, philosophers and ethicists have identified 5 different approaches to ethical decision-making. 1. Utilitarian decision-making. 2. Rights decision-making. 3. Fairness and justice decision-making. 4. Common good decision-making. 5. Virtue decision-making. Which approach is best? Each ethical decision-making approach has its strengths and weaknesses, and relatively few ethical dilemmas can be solved by using just one approach. In the complex world we live in, ethical decision-making requires a combination of some, if not all, of the 5 approaches. Different people will also value different approaches more than others. Ultimately, it is up to the individual to determine what their own standard of behavior will be. Individual ethics guide the way we follow, or don't follow, the laws of our country, state, or town. But where did these laws come from? Founding Principles of the United States Founding Documents. The United States was founded on certain principles, or ideals, that are laid out in our founding documents. The Declaration of Independence, Articles of Confederation, Federalist Papers, and the U.S. Constitution.